And thank you. Thanks for being here. A lot to talk about. Black Panther. This is the 528th MCU movie, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. No, it's not that many, but it sure feels like it.
Right.
This has been going on for quite a long time, and this film, many of these films, of course, have the threads of all the other films. That's what they have done and done very well. There have been a few of them that I felt could be standalone films that you really don't have to have the background to get it. And this is one of those movies. This movie is available in theaters now. You can check this out. It's a film. Let me just give you my tweet when I tweeted about this movie. It's one part James Bond, one part Shakespeare. What's the other things I say? Also, Gladiator and The Lion King. Kind of threw all those into a mix, and you come out with this movie that is a world traveling kind of film. You've got things that are happening in London, Wakanda in Africa, things that are happening in South Korea, also in Austria, and then I think somewhere else in the United States. So there's a lot of traveling going on in this film. And there are elements of this film that really does very much feel like a spy film. And that was something that was really, really interesting in this. The storyline, there is this country that has kind of been shrouded in mystery. They actually have this invisible wall and thing that
sounds like Skull Island
in
King Kong,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
But there's this invisible wall and invisible, not just a wall, but just this invisible barrier that keeps this whole country
Is it a big, beautiful
protected.
wall?
A big, beautiful, powerful wall.
It's an invisible wall, so I don't know if it's big or beautiful or not, but the movie is they kind of keep themselves secluded from the rest of the world. They're a pretty great country. They have a lot of they've done some incredible advancements in medicine, incredible advancements in technology, and they have a king that basically oversees 5 tribes. And if anybody saw Captain America: Civil War, you saw that the former king died. I'm not giving anything away. This happened before. But that's really the only thing you have to know when you're going into this movie. And even if you don't know that his son is taking over and that his son has this crazy suit that allows him to turn into a superhero, all that backstory is also told within this film. So even if you have never seen any of the other Marvel films, you could go into this film with really fresh eyes. And the story is really self-contained. Sure, there are threads of other characters and things, but it's self-contained. There is, when I'm kind of compared it to Shakespeare, the Shakespeare element is you've got this kind of sibling rivalry that comes to play, and you've got a cousin from the past that comes to try to maybe lay claim to the throne. And when that happens, you've got some battles, some things that unfold. High on the action, some incredible special effects. The casting was well done. The music was very much in tune with the music that you would hear in Africa. So that's, when I was hearing some of the songs, I'm like, that's The Lion King. It felt like I was watching The Lion King. And even in The Lion King story, there are a lot of similarities. Right. The film, really well done. I mean, a solid film. There were a few plot holes that didn't take me away too much from this, and there were a couple times the music felt a little over dramatic, but really strong acting in this, a strong film for Marvel. They're going to do incredibly well. The pre-sales for this, it was the largest pre-sale for any movie ever in February for Fandango.
Rotten Tomatoes had it at, what, 100%?
Wow.
I think.
Well, let me just say this. They had a media-only screening for this movie, and they had 3 specialty screenings on top of that for this film earlier in the week. And so when that happens, you can guarantee they have high expectations for what it's going to do. They even had earlier screenings last week. So the early buzz for this is really strong. And it's a strong film. I mean, it's one that I'm giving a B+ is my rating for this. A lot of people say, well, Lily, looking at what you said, I would have thought it would have been an A or an A-.
I was thinking that.
And honestly, the reason it's hard for me to do that is when you've seen so many of these superhero films,
right?
It's hard to continue having that A, but still a solid film. The editing was really, really impressive. And another thing I do want to say that there's a strong on social commentary. It's a very relevant film, and it's a film that'll make you think and make you ask questions. And I'd say stay through the end, as you always should for Marvel films. There are two post-credit scenes. So stick around for the post-credit scenes. It's kind of setting up some things. But I had somebody that sent me a message going, that Fox News was really kind of giving this a hard time and going, okay, wait a minute. The critics are loving this, the media is loving this, and it's about this, this country that's keeping itself behind a wall, and they try to keep out the outsiders, but yet the critics are loving it. And so my answer to that is to stay through the end credits and watch the whole movie, because while that is the case early on, the movie does a great job answering and addressing those questions and addressing the concerns of, when you seclude yourself, what does that do to you for the rest of the world? So, strong film. The Black Panther, a B+.
Who plays the Black Panther?
I know his name, but I'm going to get it wrong, and so I'm not going to tell you. There you go. How's
Well,
that?
who plays Inspector Clouseau?
That would be Peter Sellers.
Okay.
Peter Sellers plays the Black Panther. Peter Sellers plays the Black Panther.
That would be interesting.
Yes. Or in the later editions of that, Steve Martin plays the Black Panther.
I love Steve Martin, but he was never. We're all messed up
So
on
any
this,
other
aren't we?
questions that I can't answer relating to this movie?
I'm glad you clarified the Shakespeare, Lion King. Wasn't sure where you were going with
Yeah,
that, so I'm
yeah.
happy you clarified.
And there's also some really cool specialty gadgets. And so you see the James Bond elements. There's some great car chases. And there was one scene, this huge fight scene that took place in a casino. And it was all shot as if it were one take with one camera.
Wow.
And it was, I just sat there mesmerized, because it was just such a beautiful way of shooting that. And I haven't researched to see if it really was one take or if they just edited it to look like
Right.
that. But wonderful film. Highly recommend The Black Panther. Awesome.